ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
More restaurants rushing to reopen their dining areas after a major court decision that dealt a blow to the state's stay-at-home order. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Pena. ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Purra spoke with restaurants that are aiming to reopen as quickly as they can.
While some restaurants have already reopened, many of them say it's not like turning on a light switch, though they're working as fast as they can to welcome back customers. Rain fell on empty tables outside Nolita Hall in Little Italy Thursday. Due to COVID-19 related restrictions, the restaurant has been limited to takeout. But on Thursday, management was working to transition back to dine-in.
What I'm expecting is to open up at 25% capacity indoors. We do have, we put extensive work into the dining room for indoor dining before, so we have plexiglass up between tables. Everything's 6 feet apart, so we feel like we can do it safely and we're comfortable with it. Andrew
Grants is the director of operations at the restaurant. They've been calling their employees back to get staffing to where it needs to be when they reopen 4 p.m. on Friday.
We're going from a staff of 4 to 5 salaried managers to a staff of 25 people with a bunch of hourly employees tomorrow. So it's been hectic and interesting for sure.
On Wednesday, a court ruling allowed 2 local strip clubs to remain open while their case against the county and state moved through the legal process. The judge confirmed Thursday it extends to restaurants as well.
It's not limited to plaintiffs who also provide restaurant service, but it is intended to encompass all restaurants within the county of San Diego.
The county has suspended enforcement on restaurants and entertainment venues.
We have the Comedy Club right here.
This is video from August when ABC 10 News spoke to the Comedy Palace in Kearny Mesa. The Comedy Club has been hit hard by COVID-19 related rules.
Probably a few months, to be honest with you. We haven't had live entertainment.
George Salick is the co-owner of the family business made up of a restaurant and comedy club. He says they plan to reopen the restaurant Monday and hope to have comedians back on the stage by next Friday, at least outdoors.
We spend a lot of money on the outdoor seating. We didn't even have a chance to recoup the cost.
Anthony Purra, ABC 10 News.
Restaurant workers scrambling to get ready to reopen tomorrow had to deal with the rain and some wet furniture tonight. ABC 10 News meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking those weather conditions going into the weekend. Hi, Angelica.
Hi, Lindsay. And we did get a little bit of moisture, but it really wasn't that much. As we look at the rain totals, that's what we can call them, more like drizzle totals. About 1/100 of an inch at University Heights, Chula Vista picking up a little bit. At the San Diego airport, we didn't even get a rain report tonight, so that's how minuscule the numbers are. But I know it can be a nuisance when it comes down at night. So far, we've only seen about 0.4 of an inch in San Diego, and we have a deficit of now 1.75 inches, a little bit more than that. So certainly very dry conditions will continue this weekend. We'll have much more on the next round of Santa Ana winds.
All right, thanks, Angelica. Ahead of the county's emergency hearing tomorrow on the judge's strip club ruling, we talked to Supervisor Nathan Fletcher on ABC 10 News at 5. He says tomorrow's vote to join the state's appeal is simply symbolic.
It has no impact because the state of California has already appealed the ruling. And so tomorrow, we'll have a meeting, we'll have a lot of callers, there'll be a lot of posturing, but it has no impact at all as the case has already been appealed by the state of California.
Fletcher also made a point to question how the judge looped in restaurants in a case involving 2 strip clubs. The ICU capacity in the Southern California region is now at 0%, and experts worry about a possible surge of COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations after the holidays. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo reached out to the major hospitals in our county to find out what this means for their elective procedures.
The hospitals say that patient care is still their top priority, but all of them admit they have had to make some adjustments due to the increasing cases of COVID-19.
Yesterday, hospitals told me that they're canceling cancer patients' tumor removals because they don't have any beds left and they need the beds for COVID patients.
A sobering statement from County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher about the condition of the county's hospital capacity. Under the state's new regional stay-at-home order, San Diego is part of the SoCal region that is now at 0% ICU capacity, while the county itself is still at 16% availability, forcing procedures like organ transplant and cancer surgeries to be waitlisted.
We'll have ICU patients in the ER being held down there because there's no beds upstairs. And that because of that, there's less beds in the ER to treat other patients who have strokes, heart attacks.
Doctors say they're exhausted.
Mentally, it's just, it's tiring, making all these decisions, life-threatening decisions on a day-to-day basis.
Scripps says there have been isolated situations where these procedures have needed to be delayed, but are looking for ways to resume these procedures as soon as possible. A representative for Kaiser explains all elective surgeries are postponed for the rest of the year, with the exception of cancer and presumed cancer patients, and any situation where postponing surgery would have a negative impact on the patient's condition. Sharp hospitals say they haven't had to cancel any transplants or cancerous tumor surgeries at this point, and that they are assessing any procedure through the lens of their COVID volume and resources, but never putting a patient at risk. Adding Sharp Memorial just conducted a heart transplant on Wednesday. Doctors just asking that San Diegans do their part.
It's just a mask. It's not that hard.
Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
And here are the latest infection numbers for San Diego County. More than 2,600 new cases were reported today, bringing our total to more than 116,000. And there were 22 new deaths, which means now that 1,239 San Diegans have lost their lives to the virus.
It looks like we have a favorable vote.
With those words today, an FDA advisory panel is now recommending to give emergency approval to a COVID vaccine from Moderna. We're now just waiting for the FDA commissioner to give it the final green light. The company is prepared to start sending out doses almost immediately, with hundreds of thousands due in California this month. That adds to the doses of the Pfizer vaccine, which is already being administered to healthcare workers.
When the vaccine arrived yesterday, it just all became so real. From the very first day of this pandemic, protecting our teams was the most frightening part of it.
It will still be months before the vaccines are widely available. Today, a leading medical journal reported that COVID is now the leading cause of death in the United States, topping heart disease and cancer. A little more than half of San Diegans say they plan to get a COVID vaccine when it's available. In our ABC 10 News Union Tribune scientific poll, 56% of San Diegans surveyed said they will get the vaccine. 36% said they won't get it. Their reasons range from believing development was rushed to thinking COVID isn't that serious. Vice President Mike Pence is receiving the coronavirus vaccine Friday, but he's not the only prominent Republican on that list. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he will also be receiving the vaccine in coming days. As a polio survivor, the Kentucky Republican says he's a big supporter of vaccines and has also advocated mask wearing during the pandemic. The White House says President Trump won't be administered a coronavirus vaccine until it's recommended by the White House medical team. Last-minute haggling over a new COVID relief bill is taking longer than both sides in Congress had hoped. The Senate is continuing its negotiations with no deal reached yet. Details about the plan suggest most Americans will get a $600 check. Unemployment benefits would be increased by $300 for a time as well. The plan would also include spending $400 billion from the last relief bill that was never used. The Senate is planning a rare weekend session if a deal isn't done by tomorrow. New tonight, Poway Unified District just voted unanimously to suspend all on-campus instruction after winter break for 10 days. That means all instruction will be virtual between January 4th through the 14th. District officials plan on shifting to partial in-person learning on January 19th. And you can stay up to date on the latest developments surrounding the pandemic by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News. Well, the Northeast is bundled up for a frigid night as a deadly winter storm passes through. At least 5 people have died so far from car crashes on icy roads. One pileup in Pennsylvania involved 66 cars. It's been the biggest snowstorm to hit New York City in 5 years. Boston has had a foot of snow, and northern New York has seen close to 4 feet. Sub-freezing temperatures mean the icy conditions will stick around through the weekend. The teen accused of murdering a Carlsbad grandmother is denying all charges after facing a judge today for the first time. That teen is accused of stabbing 68-year-old Lisa Thorberg to death at the Hosp Grove Trail in Carlsbad on November 23rd. Today's hearing was held virtually. Only the judge and lawyers involved were seen on that call. The teen's identity wasn't revealed, but through his attorney, he denied the allegations. The next hearing will be on the 22nd. A new alert tonight for residents in La Jolla after police say a woman was sexually assaulted while jogging. Investigators have released this sketch of the attacker, a man possibly between the ages of 30 and 40 wearing a cross-shaped earring. The woman was jogging along Black's Beach when the man came up to her naked and grabbed her genitals and slapped her buttocks. She was able to break free and call for help.